for Straight on the Point with Jesse T from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
Oh, yeah, we are back on the air and everywhere here in Southern California. We busting out some reverb in here and some scratchy stuff going on. I don't know what's happening there, but you're going to force me to take this off, so I am, because that's just too bad. Anyhow, www.thepowerofvoices.com. That's where we're broadcasting live right now on the global radio network of thepowerofvoices.com. Also, AVTV Live and the digital broadcasting network, 21 sites we're hooked up to, and you can catch us right now on Instagram Live starting to check in, and also facebook.com/Jesse Torrero, and the Power of Voices on Facebook, on YouTube, the Power of Voices, as well as YouTube Live, Jesse Torrero, and Michael Angelo is up on his Facebook page with his big long stick sticking out at you right now. He's got the stick sticking straight up, and it is the Roundup Wound Up Show. Welcome to the crew! David Shark Freilich off to my left, camera right.
Hello, guys.
And Michael Angelo with the long stick in hand. You play with that stick quite well, my sticky friend. And we got the Mr. Red Nose himself, Dan the Man, the Raw Dog King.
Hi, I'm Kinko, the friendly clown with the smile turned upside down.
Oh, my goodness, I'm glad he doesn't hang out.
Who let the dogs out?
And me, the brown beauty on duty, Jesse Torrero. Good to have you along with me. It's the Jesse T Show. We are here doing our thing. It's Roundup, Wound Up, and we have a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to get right into it. If you want to give us a call, 424-227-9461. Did I get that right, Lee Michaels? 424-227-9461. And let's say a big hoorah for Lee Michaels, the guru, the tech, the master of all masters, Lee Baby Michaels.
That's right. He's in the house.
That's right. Didn't think I was going to make it today, but I got here just in time to set everything up, and we're off and running. Hey, first thing we got to talk about, and it's on everybody's mind, what in the heck has happened to Texas? Whoa, and now Louisiana, it hit land. We're talking about tropical storm, huge hurricane Harvey. I mean, man, did that catch you by surprise this weekend? It totally caught me. These people and the heroism of some of these people that are out there, alligator-infested waters. I mean, they're red ants. Did you see those fire ants that are in the hundreds of thousands traveling on top of the water? Wow, man. Incredible. I mean, you guys, you got people in Texas, don't you, David?
Yeah, I do. I've been through several hurricanes myself. It's crazy. I mean, you have about a week notice. You're not sure where it's going to go because of the way the weather patterns and shifts and wind and whatever. But they knew it was going to hit. They didn't know how hard or how long, and then it stalled. And then the rain, and it broke, I guess, other levees and just flooded. And then the aftermath where it was just creeping up into people's houses and garages and businesses and flooding streets. I feel for you. What I can't stand is these looters that go in there and take advantage of everything. And I understand, it's like, okay, help someone out that has less than you, that doesn't have power or diapers or food or something like that. Don't take stuff from people that don't deserve to be ripped off.
Well, we're going to talk about the looter situation and the stuff that's happening there, because this is outrageous. But let me tell you, they're saying now that over 40,000 homes in Houston alone are completely and absolutely destroyed. Now, I'm a real estate broker. I've built houses. I've been doing this 40 years, and I'll tell you, this water damage is the worst thing, because after the water goes away, you got the dry rot, the fungi, the mold, and that's killer mold that sets in there, plus all the toxins from all the stuff that the water affects and breaks down. It is some serious, serious stuff going on there. People are totally uprooted, Michael. I mean, how do you feel when you see people in the middle of the night, the water's rising, and they can't get out? I mean, that's just got to kill you.
Yeah, it's totally devastating. I mean, it's so sad. I mean, that kind of devastation, man, it affects so many in such a way that, the looting thing, people go into panic, man. People go into panic. They know that the government, they're not going to be there. They're not going to be there. They're not going to be there in time. You know, things can get very chaotic in a panic situation, and everybody's just trying to survive. You know what I mean? That shows you that the citizens of this country have no faith in the system, government, the president, all the way up the freaking chain. That's why people go out there and start hitting the streets, because they're in a panic.
Well, also, too, one of the reasons are most people in this country that own property are 3 paychecks into foreclosure. They're just 3 paychecks away from foreclosure. And if you don't own a property, most people in this country barely have $500 in their savings account. I mean, that's a straight fact. They've done that studies for years and years and years. So when a hurricane like that hits, whatever monies you have, if you can get it out of the bank, this one, obviously, all the transformers and the generators and electrical systems went down. So you're not pulling any money out of ATMs or anything like that. And so, you know, if you've got no money and you've got no water and you've got no food and you've got no medicine for mommy and daddy or grandpa and grandma or yourself, and you got people coming down the street coming at you and all this stuff, it just escalates really, really fast. Right. Dan, the man, how you feeling about this, man?
It's a tragedy. Pray for Texas, and don't forget to donate through your local Red Cross.
Yeah, and there's a big scam going on right now, too. I caught this morning that a lot of these wannabe do-good groups are in the area of Houston right now, scamming people for money, ripping them off for these donations, and they printed up fake cards and fake licenses and all that stuff. So look at, you know, donate to like the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, the Goodwill. Donate to the place that the police stations tell you to send the money. The fire department tells you to send the money. Look for those things online and those ones that are legitimate. Hey, talk about the looter situation. You know, I hear what you're saying, Michael, about that, but you know, the reality is you just don't go breaking into other people's property. You just don't go doing it. There's a scam going on right now, this minute, where there are fake Homeland Security and ICE agents flashing special-made IDs on some of these 3D printers and stuff, and they're going over telling people, you got to get out of the house. The people leave the house. They go in and ransack the house. Now, that situation is not somebody trying to take care of their mom, dad,
sure,
their kid.
I mean, there's always going to be that, Jesse. I mean, you know, you gotta weigh out everything. You know, you can't. Again, you know, in that kind of situation, you know, you really don't know what's going to happen. You know, things can go south real quickly, and at the end of the day, property's property, stuff is stuff. You know, and it's not justified. You know, I'm not saying go out there and do what you do, but people will react in very strange ways.
Well, absolutely. Under any kind of conflict or tragic situations, people do react in strange ways. And I'm here to make the argument that they react terribly. So many people do react terribly and try to take advantage of others.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've got families there that are legitimate, need help. They're on their rooftops. They legitimately didn't think the water would rise that fast. It wasn't like Katrina where it was just blowing in and ripping things off. This water, like you said, David, it hung out over the coast there of Houston and Corpus Christi and just
sucked it out of the Gulf and dumped it in.
Dropped it. You know, 51 inches of water. Can you imagine?
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's
51
crazy.
inches of water. That's almost 6 foot of water being dropped out of the sky alone.
Yeah, but I mean, again, you know, the history shows that you know, the government is not prepared for these types of situations still to today, and people know that, and you know, and it's just sad. It's sad. It's you know, I mean, what else can you say, man? But that it's just a sad situation.
The Trump government right now, they're better prepared than Bush. We learned from Katrina, where the government at the time totally screwed up. You know, hey, Brownie, you did a good job, Brownie. It's all over with. You did it. Remember Brownie? Hey, Brownie, right? Well, they've learned a lot from that. So every agency is available down there now in full strength. They got about 10,000 people down there. But they're looking at trillions of dollars to repair what's going on there. Trillions of dollars, not just billions.
Yeah, trillions.
And what are we looking at? Maybe 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years down the road before it really, all signs of it are gone? I mean, that's how much devastation. That's the 4th largest city in the United States of America, Houston.
Yeah, and you know, and still Trump thinks that it's got nothing to do with global warming.
Well, you know, look at, I
mean, you know, that's warming. Yeah, you know. I mean, come on. If you look at the times, these storms are just, you know, they're just getting more and more outrageous. I mean, whether it's true or not, I just something's going on.
global warming. Look, the planet is growing. It's warm, cold, warm, cold, warm, cold all the time. That hasn't changed. It's going to continue to grow far after we're gone. It's going to continue warm, cold, expand, decline. Everything is going to happen, shifting the tectonic plates, whatever. It's all going to take place. The volcanoes, the Pacific Rim around the Pacific Ocean, with all the volcanoes around there, it's the most volcanic active system in the world. There's something like, right now, at this moment, at this very second, there's something like 30 or 40 volcanoes popping off stuff into the atmosphere right now. Hawaii volcano has been popping it off for 10, 15 years
More
now.
than that, yeah.
So one volcano like Mount St. Helens blew up more carcinogens and toxins and carbons in the air than every single car in America being used for multiple years. So humans are not going to make a difference on global warming or not global warming. The planet is warming, but it's warming because it's supposed to warm. Now, yeah, okay, we might add a little bit, but it's not Americans, man. It's the Chinese. You see what they're doing to their country over there with the smog and the water and their coal mines? I mean, we're not talking clean coal. So, I mean, you got to look at the Chinese. It's not Trump's fault.
No, absolutely. We're not going to start blaming Trump for everything. I mean, at least I'm not. But, it's all debatable, but according to, scientific science, I think there's something definitely going on in the air, man. And, and if you see these storms nowadays, they're just so destructive that, again, the cost is going to be in the trillions and trillions. They're going to probably take 20, 30, 40 years to rebuild all that, and not including all the people that have to be relocated from all those areas, uninhabitable, unlivable.
Where are they going to go live when they evacuate at 12 o'clock at night?
Exactly. What's going to happen now?
Right.
Who's going to help them out?
Well, let's talk about that, man.
What's going to happen? Who's going to help them out?
Well, if it's Joe Olsteen, the dirty rat bastard, wouldn't even open up his mega church for the people because he said that the stupid city didn't ask him. Duh! The stupid city has to really ask you to open up where the Houston Rockets used to play. You got, 660,000 square feet of building in there, and you can put 22,000 people in there?
Unreal.
Are you really kidding me? You have to wait for the city to ask you to open up your friggin' place for people?
That's crazy.
I mean, come on. That mega church, $50 million a year this
Question:
man makes.
Was there a factor of water in his stadium, or is where he has 30?
Down below, that's where the stadium sits. It's known for flooding.
Yeah.
Okay, it flooded during basketball games and things they've had in there.
Well, then I'm sure it flooded now.
Well, it was 2 feet from the rim of the walls that they built in there to substantiate the pushing off the.
And now they pumped it out.
Right.
And now he's letting people in.
You could have been pumping it out then.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you make.
I'm not standing up for Joel Olsteen.
You make $50 million a year. You can't buy yourself a couple of pumps.
Yeah.
Seriously?
I hear you.
Seriously, right?
Well, that's just like the governor of Louisiana that didn't fix the 16 pumps to pump out the levees dry.
Yeah.
He was more concerned about tearing statues down.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The statue tear downer.
I don't want to change the subject.
No,
I'm
but
just
it's
letting you
true.
know
Well,
that
that's like Governor
their
Brown.
priorities are going to where they think the politically correct people need to have them dedicate and focus their efforts on.
Just like Governor El Stupido Brown.
Oh, yeah.
He's more worried about sanctuary city, sanctuary state, illegal aliens, raising our taxes on our gas next year, 25 cents a gallon. And yet he goes and begs on his hands and knees, please, Mr. Trump, President, please give me money for Orville. It's about ready to kill 300,000 people. We don't have enough money.
That's our camera.
Right? We don't have enough money. Well,
Right.
Duh. Gee whiz. You don't have enough money. I wonder why.
Can I just interject something too? I've done a study. I've been into big charity and fundraisers and stuff like that. It's like American Red Cross, the Goodwill, Trick or Treat for UNICEF, all this stuff is like, on average, about 16 cents on the dollar makes it to the people that need it.
Yep,
The rest is lost in the filing, the corporate, the accounting.
Paying the director $100,000.
But I'm saying 16 cents on the dollar. I went downtown to a film festival Sunday, the 168 Project. Instead of paying $30 to park there, I parked 4 blocks away and walked. I went to Burger King, bought 30 hamburgers, and was handing it out to the homeless people.
That's right.
And it's like, put the money where it's going to do some use, not to line someone's pocket to make their home payment, a car payment, a mortgage. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's ridiculous. We need to have something better than 16 cents on the dollar. When you give $100, 16 bucks makes it to someone on the street.
Well, you know, Dan the Man, I mean, like in Houston, Dan the Man, I mean, the citizens are the heroes here. They're rising to the occasion. You see all those trucks with boats on the back, and
Louisiana Cajun
all
Army.
those people coming in to help out just because they want to help their citizens, and airboats and all that. I mean, you know, what do you say about that, man? That's what Dave is talking about.
Yeah, they're pulling together, and they're also rescuing animals too, which is important because some of the morons tied their dogs to trees and you know.
I mean, what evilness takes place, Michael, when some tragedy goes wrong? Why do people just all of a sudden turn into evil, or like we say, evil?
It's just, you know, it's a panic again, man. It's just a panic situation, man.
Ignorance.
People are just so scared that they're just about, you know, everyone for himself. You know, basically that's the attitude that people take. They're not really, you know, taking into consideration how they're you know, how they're going to help the situation instead of making it worse, you know.
In other words, is it me or us pulling together?
Well, I'll tell you, the citizens of Texas are pulling together with Louisiana, and they're protecting themselves. And I've seen signs where neighbors are getting together in Texas because it's a carry state, and they're saying, looters, you're shot on sight.
Awesome.
I've seen signs that said free water, free food, and then I've seen signs where the sons of a bitches, excuse me, are charging $100 a gallon for freaking gasoline and $97 for a pack of 24 water bottles. Can you imagine that?
Anheuser-Busch.
That has got to be worse than anything.
Anheuser-Busch stepped up and stopped making beer and just made canned water.
You see, you know, when you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, and there's no excuse for being wrong. I mean, we had it here in the Rodney King explosion. We had it here in the riots in '64, the civil rights riots in '64 in Watts. And can you imagine what California is going to go through if a 9.9 earthquake hits us here?
It'll be pure panic, man. It'll be pure panic in this town.
It's
man.
frightening, isn't it?
And it's very frightening. Every friend that I know is you know, that people getting prepared. They're arming themselves. They're seriously arming themselves, man. I got no guys that are just making their own ammo because they're like, hey, man, when the shit hits the fucking fan, it's gonna get really ugly, and you don't want to be caught with your fucking pants down.
Just give me your brass, baby. Give me your brass. I'll take it off your hands.
That's you know, and that tells you again that the mentality of society in this country now is just so out of hand. You know, it's just everybody is scared to death.
Part of it is what you said earlier about it's always going to happen. There's always going to be the vultures around waiting to take advantage of someone unsuspecting this and that, rip them off.
Of course, there's ignorance.
And what you said, too,
everything,
about it's like, I lost my train of thought. Like a self-fulfilling prophecy, it's based on lack, where people don't have $500 in their bank account, and once that's gone or they can't get to it, they got to go provide for their family. I understand that, but just to do it like looters and rioters and people that just smash stuff and take stereos and stuff that they'll never use, that they want to pawn to buy another rock of coke or something, or meth or whatever they get high on, you know, $200 for 15. Yeah, I'll be high for 3 days. That doesn't. Survival's one thing. Hand it to you there. Hey, make a friend, barter, like these guys at the intersections. You know, don't just ask for a handout. Sell me some flowers or oranges, or clean my windows, or, you know, trade me out something. That's just me. But to take something that's not yours, that you're not even going to use, rather than to support your family, hey, my baby needs food, diapers, you know, blah, blah, blah.
I'm one of those prepper kind of guys, and I've been prepping for my whole life, 20, 30 years as an adult. I've been prepping. I mean, I got 2 M35A2 military vehicles. I'm going to buy myself a mission Hummer. That's the
so when the shit goes down, I can come to your house?
You're gonna have to
Can I get a ride?
You're going to have to follow me, man. I mean, I got Band-Aid. You're going to have to find me. I got Band-Aid.
Listen, man, you know what? I just want to make enough money where I can buy my own fucking piece of island somewhere, man, and just fucking disappear, man. I don't want to see anybody within 100 fucking miles of my island, or I'm shooting you fucking down. Well, I don't want to be bothered with nothing. I want to be out of here, gone, like ghost. I don't exist. Yeah, exactly. That's where I want to go.
That's where you got to have a place to leave before the crap happens, because you're not getting out of L.A.
Are you guys paying attention? Are you listening to what the wisdom here is being shared and spread? And I wanted to share something with you guys real quick on a follow-up, which fits just apropos. And I hope you can bear with me for just a second.
While we do that,
I'm ready when you are.
Go.
It's called A Lesson in Irony. Once in a while, we just have to stand back in awe of our government. The food stamp program administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture is proud to be distributing the greatest amount of free meals and food stamps ever. Over 46 million people now receive food stamps. Meanwhile, the National Park Service, administered by the U.S. Department of Interior, asked, quote unquote, I'm trying to talk too fast so I don't take up too much time. Man. Please do not feed the animals. Their stated reason for this policy is because, quote, the animals will grow dependent on handouts and will not learn to take care of themselves.
Well, gee, is that an interesting piece of education right there?
Which brings me to the millennial generation of these people now that are still living at their mom's house in their 20s, don't know how to drive a car, change a tire, get a job, and they live on the computer, and their exercise is 2 thumbs on a PlayStation.
Hey, man, just go to my apartments on Spearman in Lancaster, my 6 units. Lee Baby Michaels knows my trials and tribulations for a couple of years that I have with all the EBT suckers and leeches. I mean, you know, it's horrible. The system is terrible.
I know.
And that's the bottom line.
Ain't getting no better.
Ain't getting no better.
Because once you get on it, then you got a guaranteed vote for whoever's supplying the handout.
Well, one of the great things about Texas...
And they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them.
Hey, man, one of the great things about Texas, though, they had this hog and boar infestation, right? Now the hogs are getting drowned out. They're coming on land, man. Give me my 30-06. I'm going to have some ham for the next 2 years.
They're grilling out on a half-submerged deck, too.
And that's what I'm running on the Soul Monster ticket. A hog in every garage and a little booty for everyone.
Yeah! He's part pirate.
Yeah,
vote for me.
Listen, Dan the Man is going with me to my special Torrero compound in an undisclosed location built underground with a seed bank because I got to have Dan the Man.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, God.
So, you know, let's talk about that real quick. We're going to move off this subject real fast. But this is something that I wanted to let everybody know. And, Michael, you can relate to this because you're a real spiritual guy. And, you know,
I try to be.
You've talked about, you know, some things spiritual-wise and the goodness of people. And that's really terrific. But why is it that 1,566 churches in Houston, they're all tax-exempt. They are tax-exempt so they can help the needy. Only 60% so far, 4% out of the 1,566 churches in Houston have opened their doors to help the flood victims and the needy during Hurricane Harvey. Now, why is that?
Okay, you want to get me started on that subject?
Yeah. Why is that, Michael? Get me going.
First of all, spirituality has absolutely nothing to do with any church. Any church. Churches are created by man. For the purpose of what? To control the masses and to collect taxes. Bottom freaking line.
Speaking
from
the
the beginning of the times.
That's the truth.
And it will continue. The largest church, I think you have subject.
Olsteen, the mega church.
That's
the mega church. I'm thinking, well, to my knowledge, the Catholic Church is the large. They have, you talk about underground, they have vaults in vaults.
And trillions
of
and trillions
underground hard assets, gold, jewelry, diamonds, pearls, paintings.
Sex slaves, excuse me. Sorry.
God only knows what's down there.
The Vatican.
God only knows.
The Vatican
what's
super
down there.
Museums that are secret to the public have every known thing the world.
Talk
has
about
ever
one of the
had.
most richest powers in the world is the Catholic Church.
Absolutely.
Bottom line. And anybody who doesn't know that, you're living in a dream world. Now, getting back to what I was saying, it's about spirituality. Listen, again, to me, God is not a particular person, a particular story that's been told by many, different factions of religion, whatever the case may be. I think God is universe to me. That's what God is. God is universe. And universe has two things. It has negative and positive. Okay? If you are in tune with your spirituality and as overall a good person within your heart and your soul and your spirit, then the positive energy is what you attract to. Then you have those who opposite of that, who don't like positive. They're evil. They're dark. They're scary.
They live in the negative.
They live in the negative, dream in the negative, do in the negative. Yep. These people, they could be in any room. I can sense someone's negativity and bad energy from, I'm going to say, 20 yards maybe.
Because you're
maybe 10
spiritually
yards.
enlightened. Yeah.
And you see
feel
it.
it.
You can see it in people's eyes. That's why when I speak to people, I speak to people's eyes, and
Right
I'm telling
on.
you, within less than 5 minutes,
Yep.
I can tell you this person has got some
The eyes are the
dark
pathway
stuff
to the
inside
soul.
them.
The eyes are the pathway
And
to the
and
soul.
that's the bottom line. And people, that's the world that we live in.
Yeah.
There are people that are come together and do kind things and come
we're
together
seeing
and
so much of that
humanity.
in Houston.
You know what I mean?
Man.
And then you got those evil people, man. They're out there. They're lurking. Those are the walking zombies, man.
Yep.
Those are the walking zombies with the negativity and bring you down, and nothing's ever good, and they complain, and you know, it's just everything is just awful. The world's, you know, it's so dark. And I'm gonna tell you, and this is honest. I was one of those people.
No way. Get out of here. You?
Partially, I'm not gonna say 100%, but I'm gonna say, you know,
Well, I know a little bit about your story, but I'll tell you.
Yeah,
you're a
I've
terrific
been.
man,
Listen, man, I've been.
I've
I've
delved
been
in the
through
darkness
wars, man.
as well. I'm a sinner.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm still a sinner. I'm by no means am I saying, oh, I'm a perfect now. I'm, you know, listen, but I know that I have a spiritual heart. People feel my presence. They feel my energy. I manifest things. I see things. I feel things, and that's all I know. I mean, you can't really explain it unless you're living it, and I'm living it. You know, and I'm trying to just do the things that I can do to help those people that are in my lives, my friends, my family, whomever, that I could put a positive thing or be a positive influence in their lives in any, you know, capacity, whether it be film, television, writing, fitness, whatever. Just inspire people. That's it. Inspire people, especially those who are always depressed and they're down and they're defeated. And I use myself as an example. I said, man, trust me, I've been in that dark place. I know exactly what that dark place looks like, and you know, and I got to praise God and praise the universe that I made it through that.
What do you think about that, Dan, man, and churches and spirituality and why they aren't giving up their doors to the needy now?
I'll forgive any sin for $69.95.
Wait a minute.
Leave it to Dan and Man to come up with his own little side hustle. Just come my way for $69.99, huh? That's a bargain, bro.
I got $8,000 worth of sins to pay
Oh, see, look at that.
$8,000 worth of sins to pay off right here.
Holy cow.
How much sins can I pay off, brother?
A few.
Well, hey, you can afford all my sins, man. You can have them, man. I need a
You
clean
pay for a few
slate.
of mine, I owe you, baby.
Now what's going to happen? I'm going to go out and get jumped by the crew.
Oh, God. My God.
I know. No, you don't want the wrath of Mama T to come down on you. That's the one thing you don't want to happen. This goes
Oh,
to her
my
pocket,
God.
not mine.
Nice.
But you know that's what it's all about, and you're right, because a lot of what we go through is the natural state of things that happen to the planet Earth, because it's just nature, and that's what our planet Earth does. But also, a lot of it is man-made tragedy on purpose. I believe it's a social engineering, it's an economic engineering that's taking place
absolutely,
in front of all of us. Sure. Why is the smartest people in the world, the most gifted, most talented, most physically stature, most strength and powerful, most modern nation in the world that has a quality of life better than any place else on the planet Earth, period, end quote. Okay, why is it that we're all broke? Why? We have more education. Why is it? Why is it that we can't figure out by the time we're dead that, oh, we should have did this, we should have did that? Why are things not being taught on how to manage our financial assets, how to manage our social assets, how to manage our educational assets, our physical assets? Why aren't we taught these things from birth? And I'll tell you why. Because they don't want you to talk these things. They don't want you to learn these things. Because the 13 families, which include the Catholic Church, the most demagoguery piece of crap that you can ever, I don't care if you're Catholic. You Islamic people are the same way. Anytime you fall under an ideology of any sort, then you fall into the trappings that ideology creates. Otherwise, you can't participate in that ideology.
That's right.
You can't be part of the team.
That's
you
right.
can't play for the Los Angeles Rams if you don't play football rules.
That's right.
If you play baseball rules in the football game, you can't be a part of it. So if you want to be a part of things, you got to be a part of them all the way. And why is it that human beings are so weak and frail that we do that? Why don't we revolt against those people? Tell me, David, why don't we revolt against those kind of entities? We all know it's happening.
Wow, that's a lot of information right there, guys. I totally am on board with you, and I have a similar parallel. There's so many ththings that I want to address. Can you give me one specific question, please?
Why are we not taught?
Because they don't want you that way. If you Google George Carlin, he has a perfect explanation that the society of these 13 families just want you smart enough to push the right button and run the machines, but don't question the higher up knowledge. And there's certain people that go to the elite schools that have never had to shop for themselves or wipe their own butt or search for a job because it's all been handed to them. And some of the textbooks cost $30,000. Well, the average person can't get that textbook because they're not privy to it, and their family that has been suppressed in the past by the certain educational system. And it's not about, like Michelangelo was saying, it's not about a religion, it's about a relationship with a higher power, a creator. And once you get in tune with that and on that little narrow path, and the masses are the asses and away from the sheeple and the PC police and all that stuff, and can you think on your own and earn your own keep and help someone else out and get a little nest egg and propagate your family so it's not it turns into a stump, and make the world better than it was before you got there and nicer than it was before you arrived. It's all about knowledge, and knowledge is power.
And why is it that every single video we see of looting going on, every single video we see from some 7-Eleven or Circle K getting busted up at night by somebody, why is it that every single person who's a bad guy is black? Now tell me that.
Not everyone is.
Is there no white guy, Asian guy? Is there no guy that has pink hair and blue lips?
I got to stand up for my brothers.
That's a criminal?
They're not all black.
Tell me, why is it though?
The majority.
Why is it that everything on the internet says about looting, what's going on in Houston, they're all black guys? Why is that? And they're all between the ages of 15 and 35. And they're just stupid people doing stupid things. Why? Tell me. Just would somebody please tell me why that is that? Michael, tell me why.
Because the white man is sitting at home running the Red Cross scam.
And the media. There's only four people that run all the stations.
He's at home on the computer, man, running Red Cross scam.
And why is it
he's trying to get millions.
That's right. You got it. On the backs of everybody else because it's a politics.
Look at the black guy. He go out there stealing. But look at the white guy running the Red Cross scam. Yeah, forget about the black guy taking a couple of dollars.
Because a guy with a briefcase and a computer can steal more than a guy with a gun.
The Rockefeller.
Oh, man.
White man.
That's right.
Rothschild.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
The white man. The Catholic Church at the highest level, white men.
Trilateral Commission.
Okay, wait a minute. The Astor family, white men. Okay, the J.P. Morgan family, white
all
men.
White people.
Okay, why is it that white people even got the opportunity to be in the position that they're in while the rest of the planet is become their slaves? Dan the man.
As Al Capone once said, you can get further with a kind word and a gun than you can with just a kind word.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Good. Amen
It's
to
set
that.
up for the system to keep people repressed while others benefit off the backs of their ignorance.
Hey.
Because knowledge is power. Especially if you know it about the right person.
The Rothschild family has backed both armies for good and bad since Napoleon.
So
Both
is our
sides.
government.
The English vaults of gold have stamped Nazi SS gold that they took out of people's mouths and they melted down into small bricks, not big ones,
Easier
in the
to carry.
concentration camps. The English queen has access to that.
I heard she's stepping down.
Why is it that incestual relations has been part of the oligarchy of the planet for 1,000 years? Why is it that incest is allowed to perpetrate in both the Islamic religion and the Christian religion? Tell me why. Somebody please give me a friggin' answer so I can put my AR-15 down.
Dan?
Dan?
Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
It's crazy. And there's certain states, and there's, I think Obama said there's 57 states in America. Out of the 50 states that are here, everyone has a different rule on when you can marry, if you can have sex with a goat, a sheep, a horse, a cow, a donkey, a wall, a mattress, your hand, your sister.
Did you
know what I'm saying?
You say a goat?
You're so bad. But listen, it's instead of one like thing,
Is
hey.
that why when you have sex with a donkey, go, right? I did that pretty good, didn't I?
Or the girl you're trying to have oral sex with, she keeps turning her head and does the dolphin.
Well, to answer your question is what it boils down to. Every state is a sovereign state. Therefore, every sovereign state has its own laws. Therefore, every law is subject to interpretation by any standing judge or whatever the case may be. That's how that works. What law is created in one state is not necessarily created in another.
I got you.
So there's no set kind of rules. You know what I mean? Everybody's kind of going around, and every state's got their own little rules and laws and so on and so forth.
But if you step across that state line and do something that the other state allows,
now you tell me how that makes sense to you. Every state has a different set of laws. Did you know that in just California alone, California puts out about 1,000 new laws every year.
I know that. I know.
And what is the purpose of the law? The law is to...
So that's about 3 laws a day.
Tell me the truth, man. Come on.
The law is about fine, fees, or tax.
Or control.
That's what the law...
It's about money.
You control money, you control everything. That's what it is. Fines, fees, and taxes. That's what law is about.
You control money, you enslave people.
That's right. You don't pay a certain dollar amount, guess what? You go to jail. You don't pay this, guess what? We're taking your property.
And when there's too many people, you make them sick, you make them unhealthy, you give them bad water and bad food.
That's it.
And as Bobby Fuller once sang, I fought the law and the law won.
And there's the bottom line to that. Yeah. There's a law for you and me and us in here, and there's a law for those at the Astors and the Morgans and all those people. Did you know that all the presidents since Abraham Lincoln are bloodline related, going back from 11th, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2 cousins? Every president since Abraham Lincoln is related to each other. Obama is a distant cousin of Bush. Did you know that?
No.
And all of these presidents are blue bloods. They all go back to Charlemagne. Charlemagne. We're talking about old Europe. We're talking about the first Jewish king.
Wow. The
first Jewish king after the Syrians were defeated, which were Muslims. They were called Syrians the first time. When the first Crusaders went through and took over Jerusalem, they empowered a first Jewish king there. I don't remember his name, but he was of German descent. And all of our presidents are either related to him and his blue blood line or Charlemagne's blue blood line. You cannot be president of the United States of America unless you're a blue blood somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah. That German one, was his name Frankenstein?
Oh, yeah, man. Sort of like Diane Frankenstein and her husband, Mr. Frankenstein, here as a senator here in the state of California, because they act like monsters. Anyway.
Did she shorten her name to Feinstein?
No, I've elongated back to Frankenstein. Oh. You know, it's
Speaking
terrible.
of Germans, do you know how tall Hitler was and where he was from?
Bavaria.
Nope. He was 6 tall and from over there.
Can you do that again?
Oh, my God.
Everybody on 3. On 3.
I don't know what you guys are on today, man, but I want some, man.
Hey, on 3. Everybody,
I just need a little piece, man. Can I just get a little bit?
We're going to do it on 3.
You got to use your right hand.
Right hand. Okay, everybody, right hand.
You got to hit yourself real hard between your lip and your nose.
Let's do it. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
He was 6 tall and from over there.
Oh, my God.
Nothing against my Jewish friends, my Arabian friends, my Muslim friends, Catholic, Korean, whatever. I love you all. Just don't try and tell me I have to abide by your rules in my country. Otherwise, stay in your country. And let's all celebrate together, help each other out like the people are doing down in Houston, coming from 7 or 8, 10 different states.
That's
to
right, people, man. $1,
water, food,
$2,
diapers,
$3, $4, $5.
Come on, man. Help them
out. If everybody just threw in $1, it would make a huge, huge difference.
$327 million.
Where'd you get your education?
I was born at night, not last night. That's how many people there are. And And it's education. Say it right.
Education.
The planet has 7.5 billion people on the planet right now. You think the planet's going to be able to sustain life for that much
longer? They're going
longer?
to knock it off, bro. It's in the book.
What book?
God only knows.
The book of knockoff?
They're already building the city outside the earth. They're already building.
Really?
Talk
to me about that.
Because we're going to have a nuclear
Are we going underground or are we going upground?
Man, we're going
uptown. I feel like George Jefferson. We're going
out in the
uptown,
universe.
on the east side. George Jefferson. With it. Right?
Yeah.
Upon the roof.
Thank you. Yes.
You can only send so many people on a rocket ship to another planet.
They're already there on Mars and the moon.
I understand that, but they have whole 50,000-acre underground cities below the mountains.
I'm
in
at
certain
Denver
states.
International Airport
but
4 days
you
ago.
can't get in there unless your name's on the list.
I'm at Denver International Airport 4 days ago, right? And the topography of where Denver International Airport 25 years ago was a big valley, a big grassland ranch valley. It took them 15 years to make an international airport. They own 50 square miles of Colorado land.
What's underneath?
Wait a minute. 50 square miles. An airport owns 50 square miles, ladies and gentlemen, in Los Angeles is like going from Sylmar all the way to Orange County, from Orange County all the way to Palm Springs, from Palm Springs a diagonal back to Sylmar. That's 50 square miles. An airport owns 50 square miles.
That's too many.
In Colorado. So the topography used to be like this in Denver. They started building this airport and the topography started going like this. Right? Like this. So all the air maps had to be changed before digital and all that stuff. Okay, all had to be changed. The air maps that the pilots used had to be changed. They rose the topography level, elevation. You can go back and look at old elevation charts of this area from the 1950s. They rose it like in some places 400 feet.
I've seen these gutted out like copper mines.
Now check it out. There's a guy. He's dead. He was killed. There's a guy that was originally one of the deep drillers of these caverns that he say go down 4,000 feet. And he was a whistleblower, and for 10 years he talked about this. They finally murdered him. They tried to kill him like 6 times and weren't safe. So here's the key: deep underground military bases. Deep underground military bases. What do you think? You think they're digging a deep underground military bases?
Shit, I got one.
Yes.
I got one better for you.
Talk to me.
You really want to hear some way out shit?
Yeah, I do.
You know how these kids be coming up missing, kids are missing here and kids are missing there?
And never be found.
Listen to me. I have no doubt in my mind that some of these smartest kids that are being born and brought into this world are being snatched up for government purposes.
You get them young, you get them forever.
Yep.
That's
they
what
got 16-year-olds that
Geniuses.
can hack computers on
it's
any
terrible.
level.
No distractions from the outside world.
No. They go and they
snatch
become
kids up and then mold them to whatever they want.
They become concubines of their brains.
Yeah.
God only knows what they're doing to those kids.
And they're doing something. An airport doesn't own 50 square miles just because it needs 50 square miles of land. Thank you very much. Man.
So if you're worried about your kids, you better stay close to your kids.
How about tying
close.
that into your CAHT, the Coalition Against Human Trafficking?
Oh, well, let me tell you, I can talk all about that for days on end.
I'm just saying.
97% of all the children that are kidnapped, and they're usually abducted, they just don't walk away. You do have runaways that get hooked on drugs and crack and heroin, and they do run away, but the largest percentage of them are snatched, abducted, and taken or coerced by somebody who they think is their age off the internet, and then they're kidnapped. They're they're taken out of town.
Crazy.
They're raped multiple times. They're injected with all kinds of drugs.
Crazy.
They're beat up, intimidated. They're completely destroyed and broke. You talk about waterboarding; they get worse, and then within 7 years they're dead, and only 3% of them nationwide are ever rescued.
And the largest abduction city is
Phoenix,
Phoenix, Arizona.
And what I tell people, man, if you got kids, man, stay close to your kids. Don't trust nobody.
Nope.
Nobody. I wouldn't trust nobody. I wouldn't trust my own mama with my kids.
I've had
that's real deal.
And I've had
and
2
that's
kids,
real
and I raised
deal.
them to be adults.
I have one daughter that's 19, and I've and I haven't seen her for a very long time, but she's out there in Australia and stuff. But you stay close to your kids, man. Don't trust nobody with your kids. Bottom line. You don't want nothing to happen to your kids. Don't trust nobody with your kids. That's the first rule.
On a similar parallel,
I don't care.
Yeah.
The girl that we had last week, my dear angel without wings, Bridget, has a sister that lives in the 4th Ward in Houston with 3 children. She's unwed, and she's afraid to go to the store 3 blocks away for fear that she's going to get mugged, assaulted, raped, blah, 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 this and that. And that's her sister. And it's like, it's an evil world out there. I stand behind Michelangelo that you got to know someone inside and out for a while, not someone off the internet or a referral from a friend to watch your child and take care of them while you're out working or hustling or whatever you're doing to babysit even, because it's evil.
You know, I believe, and I've argued this point for years, I believe that children should learn how to shoot, understand how to clean, understand how to maintain, and keep a weapon safe, locked up from the time they start kindergarten. There should be classes for that. And I believe that every person who becomes 18 years old in this country, maybe 21, should have an allowance to be able to be armed. I believe we should have open carry across the nation. I believe that if we had that, I believe that there would be a lot less abductees, a lot less rapes, because if you know how to shoot, and you know how to, and you follow the right rules of the land, you are going to live, and you're going to be able to take care of your assailant. At least it gives you the right and the possibility of, if you're going to go down, you're going to go down with a fight.
What about certain countries that mandate that you have to put 2 years in the military to learn discipline, cleanliness, how to defend yourself and stuff like that, and then you're free to go on, but you have to...
Israel, Norway.
Not England?
I don't think England has. It's not a mandatory thing.
You hear what I'm saying?
So, Dan, is that gun for fun, or is that gun for shooting?
This gun's for hire. And as far as having children, I might be an absent father with the showgirl.
Congrats, Dan.
Thank you very much.
That's why you're Dan the man.
Dan the man unusual.
Well, you're going to have a problem because they're closing Hooters down across the country because the millennial generation doesn't like big-breasted women.
Oh, no, here we go.
Hooters.
Here we go. I mean, the fact that we people even got the time to give that any attention is ridiculous.
Crazy.
I know.
It's
I
like,
know.
come
Let's
on, you ain't got
concentrate
nothing else to do. You worried about some fucking Hooters, man? Come on.
Helping the homeless
seriously.
and, building...
My God.
Look, the price
community.
of horniness is high.
They're closing down the Hooters.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
that's
they're starting to
ridiculous.
close them down. Favorite cartoon that you watched when you were a kid, Michael?
Was it
couple
Jerry?
favorites. Couple favorites.
Popeye. I used to like. Was it Jerry? What was it, Jerry the cat? Whatever.
Yeah,
I remember.
Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry
was funny. The
Did you like
Flintstones.
Tom or did you like Jerry?
I like the cat. The cat was cool. I like the cat. Yeah, and I like the Flintstones and stuff. And
Nice.
Did you like Fred Flintstone's wife or Barney's wife?
Barney's wife. Barney's wife was hot. She was the brunette. She was hot. She was the model type.
Yeah,
Girl
yeah,
next
yeah.
door model type. Yeah, I like that.
David, how about you? Favorite cartoons when you were growing up?
Same. Tom and Jerry, Heckle and Jekyll. We used to watch Twilight Zone all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was fun. It wasn't a cartoon, but there was so much that wasn't being said that was implied, left up to your interpretation.
Right.
And that's what I like to help my mind run free, which is why I'm a poet and a writer. We're all businessmen of some sorts, and we think outside the box. We're creating.
Now I understand you a little bit better. Heckle and Jekyll in the Twilight Zone. Oh,
Yeah, you went to Heckle and Jekyll to the Twilight
Tom and
Zone.
Jerry.
That was a huge leap.
you can't go
That
back.
was a huge leap. Huge leap, man. What? Heckle and Jekyll.
Imagine
Twilight
if you
Zone.
will.
Yes, Dan the Man. Favorite cartoons growing up?
One of my favorites was George of the Jungle. George
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
Jungle.
yeah.
What's up for that tree? And the other one I liked was the Roadrunner.
Yeah,
Roadrunner. I forgot about that Roadrunner.
Yeah.
That damn Roadrunner. You can
Never
never
about
catch
it.
his ass, huh?
Wild Coyote.
You can never go Wild Coyote. That's great.
Oh, man. I like Fred Flintstone. Yeah, that's right.
No, I was just having this conversation the other day with somebody. I can't even remember who, but I know I remember I had the conversation. I was like, what happened to the classic cartoons?
They're too violent.
But they were
That's
like
why they
just
took them off.
cartoons.
Wait a
It was
second. Here's
now every cartoon you see is like some way out fucking crazy shit.
Come
It's
on.
like
Weren't you into the Teletubbies?
so much information.
Never.
No, man, these
Never.
video games and Jesus and these cartoons these days, just like, wow, this is crazy.
My favorite cartoons growing up, I love Scooby-Dooby-Doo, right? I loved Fred Flintstones. I just come home running every day, and I love the friggin' Jetsons.
Yes,
that was a cool
The Jetsons were cool. And we got flying cars now that they're going to be putting out into the public forum in the next 5 to 7 years.
And I was like Freddie Flintstone. I sure made her bed rock.
Jokes by Dan the Man.
Boom.
All right, guys. Hey, what a great show today. Round up, wound up. What's cooking for you, David? What's happening?
Another day above ground. Just did a 168 film project, film with Christopher Sean Shaw, Josh Murray, Jerry, and the kids out in Redlands yesterday. And it's just amazing. We're propagating. We're building on the roll. Not letting any moss build on us, and I'm getting ready to go see my mom for her birthday and hopefully work out of New Orleans and Atlanta.
Happy birthday, Mom. Michael, what's cooking for you, man? I know you're hot right now, man.
Man, you know, just here and there, you know, trying to get something together with Mundo Flicks now. They've, you know, they're going to put a letter of intent for me. And
for Redemption?
Yeah, for Redemption Process.
Right
and try to get some episodes on that new network that's up and coming, which is going to be great. And, you know, and still, you know, here for you guys, you know, obviously we're doing this radio thing, which is great. Now, I'm loving that.
You out with the Kiki Mobile still?
I'm still with the Kiki Mobile in production. We're going to have a big premiere coming up soon, so I'll mention that probably.
And he's the next Calvin Klein's model. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing a little modeling, too, for the up-and-coming designer, you know, boxes and briefs. You know, it's going to look a little gay, but, hey, I like gay. I like gay.
Really? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Dan the Man, what you got cooking, baby?
I'm awaiting Martin Gigi's film on Nat Sweetwater Clifton, which will be filmed in New York in January. And go see his new movie, which is just coming out on September the 8th, 9/11, with Charlie Sheen, Whoopi Goldberg, and Luis Guzman. It's going to be wild.
And the Brown Beauty, Jesse Torrero. I'm always here, on there, and everywhere. Look for me all around the world, from the community to the world according to Torrero. You're straight on the point. Yo, the Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Round up next Wednesday.
Enjoy Labor Day.